So, finally, for my final blog, I will be answering the question about who were the biggest heroes and who were the biggest jerks and why. So, from the first film, hands down, I would say Michel Basquiat was the biggest hero. Um, he was 25 at the height of his career, and it's sad that he died 2 years later. Um, ultimately, like, he became a representation for, he was like the proto black person, um, to the Caucasian people, of his time, because he was like the only black person that they knew. He was super talented, and he knew a lot about a lot of things at an early age. A direct quote from the film, can't remember who said it, but he was blessed with astonishing sophistication as a teenager. He understood exactly where to position himself at the right time. And I think that is how he lived his entire life. Like, everything that happened to him happened like accordingly. Um, it was like he was going against, everybody. No one, a lot of people didn't like his work. It was a lot of hatred about what he was doing. Um, and ultimately it was like, a black urban man trying to come up as an artist. And I feel like he surpassed all the challenges, and had he lived longer, he will be someone that a lot of urban artists now look up to. As far as another hero, I would say, like, in the second film, it will be Joe Connolly, and it's like, yeah, you can say, uh, yeah, you can say that it's like, he was the Debbie Downer or whatever, but I feel like he was doing what he had to do to better his community. A quote from the film saying, like, you cannot really control yourself once you start. Um, a quote from the film was, "It's not really like an addiction, but more like a sickness. You cannot really control yourself once you start." And I feel like Joe knew that, and even though he knew that it would continually be these graffiti, um, art, he continued made attempts. He continued making attempts to get rid of it. He felt as though like it was disrupting the public, um, and like it kind of put him as like the vigilante, um, because it was like the good guy, but the bad guy at the same time. And I don't think he was bad. I think he was doing what he had to do to make his community better. I certainly would have done it if I felt a certain way about the art or the stuff that was being placed on the community and the environment that I lived in. I think by him doing this, he made the neighborhoods way more friendlier, um, because he was covering up gang related graffiti, not so much the artwork to it. Um, I think Guetta will be the person that is the biggest jerk. Um, I didn't really like the fact that he didn't take no for an answer, and but at the same time, I guess to one person could say like he's very um determined, because if you told him get out of your face, he stayed in your face recording. Um, and I think, it's a good and a bad to that, but for the sake of him as opposed to the rest of the artists, I would definitely consider him to be a jerk for that. In the third film, I would say another hero is Shepard, and this is for the mere fact that I appreciate his influence on the street art. Um, as a quote from the film, street art was poised to become the biggest countercultural movement since punk. And I think that his images can show that it's continually growing. They're still all over the environments to this day. Um, and like as an artist, he took risks. He did things that other people wouldn't do, and he acted as if you know nothing would happen. He had no fear. Um, and I think that is something that kind of reminds me of like artists like Jackson Pollock or Andy Warhol who like created and they set their own standards. Andy Warhol knew that he was copying other people's stuff and he did it anyway because it's like, okay, I'm doing this, but I'm making it my own, even though it's not an original image. Jackson Pollock, he went beyond the norm, or we could even talk about, the pop artists who went against, minimalist art. So I feel like he fit in that realm because like he was open to what he was doing and he incorporated his art into the public sector. He publicized it and it was artwork. People wanted to view it. Um, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. This has been a very, very long semester. I graduate Saturday. I wish all of you guys a great summer. Those that are graduating, congratulations. And you guys have a wonderful school year.